The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now, in a world where technology shapes the future, one of the most pressing issues remains the underrepresentation of minority and Muslim women in the tech industry. Now, despite making up a significant portion of the global population, these women often face barriers that hinder their entry into and growth within the tech space. Enter the Codette Project, a non-profit organization founded by Nurul Jihadah Hussain, which is dedicated to empowering and, equipping minority and Muslim women in the skills, resources, and support they need to thrive in the tech world. So to discuss how the Codette Project is breaking barriers and fostering opportunities for women in tech, we're now joined by Nurul Jihadah Hussain, who is the founder of the Codette Project. Hi, Nurul. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Nurul, the Codette Project was born out of a desire to address the gap for minority and Muslim women in the tech industry. Could you share more about the gap you've identified?
Sure. As you mentioned briefly in your introduction, there is a clear gap in terms of achievement in the tech industry. So that's already present between men and women. So we know that in terms of funding, it is much more likely for male founders to get funding as compared to female founders. And when we talk about minority and Muslim founders who are women, then that number basically almost disappears. And that's true not just for founders, but at every level of the tech industry. If we're looking at people who are in the C-suite, if we're looking at people who are creating the tech products, at every level of the tech industry, minority and Muslim women are underrepresented, even though about 20% of the global population is Muslim, and 50% of that would be women.
I see. Well, you focus on supporting minority Muslim women and girls. What made you specifically focus on this group?
So the simple answer is because I am a minority Muslim woman. It is the group which I feel most fit to advise. But the more complicated answer to that is that how we think about inclusion and diversity is that when we focus on inclusion and diversity, we are making it easier for everyone to actually be part of this industry. And I'll give you an example of that. When we centered women as part of the design for our first women-only hackathon, which was Singapore's first women-only hackathon in 2018, that meant that we centered the needs of women in every aspect of the design of the hackathon. We know that in Asia, most women are caretakers, whether that's for the elderly, their families, their homes, or children. Women across ages, social class, and racial background are caretakers. So we made sure that it wasn't an overnight hackathon. It didn't last 2-3 weekends. It was one weekend, 8 to 8, and we were the first and possibly only hackathon in Singapore to have offered breastfeeding rooms, prayer rooms, halal and vegetarian food, as well as in our second edition, childcare. So by centering women, we had a much higher uptake of, yes, minority and Muslim women, which were 50% of our participants, but also 50% of our participants were non-minority and Muslim women. So what that means is that when we designed for all women, more women came. And both times we had it pre-COVID, it sold out in less than 3 weeks.
I see. Well, let's talk more about the Codette Project. How does it exactly work, and how is it designed to help women gain tech skills?
We're built around 3 main pillars. First, skills building. Second, community development. And third, reclaiming narratives of success. So skills building is quite straightforward. We look at the tech stack as not just being traditional hard skills, not just things like coding, but also things like design, social media management. We look at as well the different groups, including women who are entrepreneurs, women who are students, women who are coming back into the workforce. So a lot of different kinds of women. And we look at building a safe and open community for them to explore and determine what success means for them. Tech for us is the tool to help women who are underrepresented defend, determine, and decide what success looks like for themselves.
I see. Well, you focus on areas like software engineering, marketing, and UX design. What are some of the most popular programs among participants? And could you give us a glimpse on what each program entails?
We've been around for 10 years, so we've had quite a lot of different programs. What has been quite successful is the scholarship program that we've had, and that scholarship program was started in COVID-19, and it looked at identifying women who were students of either a part or full-time program, but who could be of any age. So then when we identified these women, we gave them support in terms of mentorship and development for their program over a course of 9 months. We also have been able to collaborate with large tech partners, for example, Meta and Google, to provide training programs for participants. And right now we've been collaborating with Google for their Google Career Certification programs, and that's been very, very popular. We've had over, I believe, 800 participants on the career certification program. So that's incredibly popular because it's something that is fully online and you can do it at your own pace. So it makes it very accessible for everyone.
I see. So how do you ensure that these workshops and digital resources are accessible and inclusive for all women, regardless of their previous experience in tech or socioeconomic background?
That's a great question. And I would say that the way that we've designed the Codette Project as an organization is quite different. So we're not just a non-profit, we're fully volunteer run. So everyone, including myself, we have full-time jobs. And the only people that get paid are my interns. So what that means is that all the funding that we get goes directly into our programs. And all our programs are free. So that funding or the financial motivation to join a program, it's not there. We make the barriers as low as possible. But there are still barriers to entry. So what we've not been able to address is the fact that in Singapore, we still have groups of people that don't have access to a laptop or a smartphone. And that's not something we've been able to address because that is quite cost-intensive. So there are still things that I believe are gaps in the market, which I hope people will fulfill. And I would also say another gap that would be helpful for other people to think about fulfilling is looking at the gap in terms of timing or in terms of access for women that are out of the traditional workforce and are out of school. So there are a lot of women that may have taken career breaks and a lot of organizations that support them, but I definitely think that there can be more done for them.
I see. Well, out of the people that have gone through the Codette Project, what has been the feedback so far? Any success stories that still resonates with you?
So for me, there are many success stories. Because we've been around for so long, we have had women who've been part of our initial programs in 2016, 2017, and they come back to us after, 3 to 5 years. We see them through different stages of their lives, different stages of their career. And it's incredible to see a lot of these women feel like they always need a space that is safe for them to say, yes, these are other women that are aligned to what I want in life as well, and who are aligned to letting me decide what success looks like for me. And some of the success stories include things like women being able to access new jobs, women being able to access promotions or improve in their current jobs, as well as women deciding, okay, I need help in a certain thing that I'm studying. This is the way I'm going to access the support I need to do better. So we've had a lot of successes, honestly, and I'm really happy about that.
Amazing. I mean, community building is at the heart of the Codette Project's mission as well. How do you cultivate a sense of belonging among the women who participate in your programs?
I think it's by design. So when you design for women and when it's by women, you're really centering women and the user journey of women in everything that we do. And when we do that, women understand that we're designing this intentionally for them. And that naturally creates an environment where people come and they feel welcome. If you know you're not going to get weird looks because, your 1-year-old is screaming in one of our talks, which is open to families and open to women, you're going to be like, yes, this is something I want to attend. And we're very clear as well that there are behaviors that we encourage and behaviors that we discourage. So we really discourage anyone from saying that, okay, this is the only way to success. This is the only way for you to do well in your job. So we really encourage a multiplicity of definitions of success within each of our events. And we also make sure that we've got multiple touch points. Social media is a big thing for us in making sure that people feel heard and seen through our social media because we showcase narratives of success that are not commonly seen because we showcase women in our community.
I see. And with that, the Codette Project has seen many significant achievements, like the first woman-only hackathon in Singapore that you mentioned earlier in our conversation. Could you share more about this experience and how have, shaped the project's growth?
To me, that was a really important project because we were able to show that there was a gap. before we did it, a lot of the pushback that we got was people saying, look, women aren't at hackathons because they're not interested. And to me, that was really offensive, right? Like, why is this the assumption? So we did it, and we showed that, yes, women are interested. This is the proof point. This is the data. They're coming. And we showed it. So I think for me, it helped justify the case for organizations like the Codette Project, which for a lot of people might be seen as too niche or too minor, and say that there is a business case for diversity because there is a clear market. And if you do not address this market, then you're losing out. And I was really proud of that because we were able to turn that around despite a lot of the criticism that we had.
I see. And you were also given recognition as one of Singapore's top 100 women in tech. How do you see this recognition further advocate minority women in the tech industry?
Honestly, sometimes I feel kind of embarrassed. Just to be very honest with you, I feel a bit embarrassed by this.
Oh, no, why?
Like, look, when you do the work that I do, you see a lot of women that you feel are so much more deserving than you. And that's really what I feel every day. I feel like there's so many more women who are doing much more amazing things. So am I grateful? Yes, I am so grateful for this recognition. I'm so grateful that I got this opportunity to do that. Do I feel like more women from my community should have this recognition? Also, yes. So, yeah, incredibly happy. And I hope the achievements that we've had as the Codette Project help people understand that we're a cause that should be supported. And especially now during the tech winter, there's a lot of questions about tech, the future of tech. That's definitely something that I'm concerned about, that organizations like ours will start falling by the wayside.
I see. Well, at the end of the day, you are also giving these platforms to women to succeed, which is such a wonderful thing. Nurul, looking ahead, what other areas of tech or new programs are you looking to explore in the future to further diversify the opportunities for minority women in the industry?
We've got a partnership with the National Library Board. So we're looking at doing more physical, in-person outreach and networking sessions because I think that post-COVID, a lot of networking opportunities are still not as well attended by women as they used to be. So that's one thing. We've got a podcast that's coming out in 2 weeks, so I'm really excited about that. And in general, I think for the tech industry, we've reached a stage where the tech industry is massive because every industry in some ways is the tech industry. So I see that's a really good space for us to continue to play in and for us to continue to explore, including things like, I'd be really interested in seeing how we can help figure out ways forward for women in agri-tech, women in AI, and these are all things I'm really interested in.
Amazing. And before we let you go here, Nurul, how do you plan to keep the Codette Project relevant and at the forefront of promoting inclusion and diversity in the industry?
I think that for us, the biggest challenge is going to be funding. So we haven't been able to run our scholarship program for the last 2 years because funding has pretty much dried up in the tech winter. What we're doing right now is redesigning some of our programs to make sure that they're still relevant, to focus a lot more on social media outreach and on really on the ground networking so that women know that we're still here as a support for them, that there's still a space in the technology industry for them, and to really focus the fact on the reality that there are so many women out there who have the talent, who have the intelligence, who have the capacity. And the reason why they haven't achieved the success that they deserve is really because of access and opportunity. And once we're able to fill that gap of access and opportunity, I really believe that we'll be able to transform and change the future of tech.
I see. If there's one message you would like to give our listeners about women in tech, what would it be?
We're here. Please accept that. Please enjoy that. And please support us. Ramadan starts tonight. International Women's Day is next week. So this is the perfect time for people to just start celebrating women.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Nurul, for joining me today.
You are very welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Thank you. That was Nurul Jihadah Hussain, who is the founder of the Codette Project. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.